I can't believe that I thought this was good. I mean, this state of my room right now is not how it looks when it's clean, but it is how it normally is when I'm working, and partially it's clean. I mean, it's not terrible, but this is the before of my room, and I will also show you coming up some process videos of where I pulled stuff out. And that whole side over there is bothering me so much with the bookshelf and everything. Whoops, we already passed it, but you know, the IKEA cubes, I thought I changed it because it was beginning to bug me to just see it looks like utter chaos over there, even though it was fine. Okay, here's the process. I started pulling stuff out and figuring out what I'm going to do with it. I have an extra room in my garage, which you'll see later, photos of, that I put some of the excess things in, and also another place which you will see later that I could use. And I didn't have to have my whole room that I work in full of supplies. So here's, look at that. Look at all that stuff. How do I have all that stuff? I don't know. It just happens. And I know a lot of you deal with this. Okay, so here's some more process. And I'm doing this voiceover because I have to put some videos together. I started this in the summer and finished it. Here's my bookcase when I started to clean it out and reorganize it. So down at the end of our hallway, I have put this bookcase that I found on Facebook Marketplace. It was only $20, and it's very nice wood, solid wood bookcase. And I use this to put an overflow of books that I use to make journals. I had to off-center it in order to get inside the door here, or doorway, and it works out very well. All right, let's look at the room now that it's finished. I'm very happy with how everything is working for me now. I have the extra room in my garage. It has made a huge difference to not try and have everything in this one room. It's not hugely changed, but it has made all the difference. Okay, to start with, I moved this tall dresser. I moved it to this corner. It was previously right there in that corner. I took out the cubes, the IKEA cubes, and replaced it with this IKEA dresser. I really didn't want an IKEA dresser. I didn't realize how close in I was. I may have to go around the room again. Oh, I will finish about the dresser. I wanted one that was vintage looking or antique. And I did have one that I had picked out from Facebook Marketplace and made an offer on. The man accepted it, and then the next day, and I was going to pick it up the next day, but that morning he messaged me and said that it was sold to his neighbor. I was disappointed, but I found this one, and actually I think it's preferable because the other one had some cabinet shelves in it instead of the drawers, and I really like all drawers. So underneath it, I also have the great storage from these boxes from probably Michael's a long time ago. Some things you kind of have to deal with, like this container here. I have very nice storage up there above the closet, and it looks nice. There's nothing up there that shouldn't be here, which I did have before. Some paperwork and things. Now over here, I wanted to show you the chair that I reupholstered about a month or two ago. I keep a pillow on it because I need to be raised up. Otherwise I go way down when I sit and I forget that it's so low. So I keep that pillow on there when I'm going to sew. I use this pretty Paris fabric to upholster it, and I painted the wood there white. Then I added a skirt. This is silk on the bottom. I'll show you what was there before, and that's, whoops. But then there's eyelet that I added pink ribbon to for the skirt, and I am really happy with it. I have nothing inside, and I didn't, finish it off inside very well when I was upholstering it because, I'm not looking at it all the time. So that can be filled with lots of things, but fabric or whatever. In this desk, I still keep all my sewing supplies. Some decor, pretties to look at there. And there's some of my papers that I use to make journals with. Here I have all vintage antique items like ledgers. That's an antique book that I use to pull the pages out for journals, and some of those are in the kit. Some of those pages are in the kits that are for sale. There's my mom and me when I was little. There's some tidbits of things up there. And all the vintage things that I have I'm talking about other than just plain books. Things I can use for copying for journals. I found this years ago at a yard sale for $5, and it's an original oil painting, quite large. It wasn't framed, and it's, of course, as you can see, not now. I really like it in here. The wall needed something, and at first I was going to put shelves up there, but I actually like this better. It does, it helps me more to keep this room under control than having a bunch of shelves everywhere. Here's an old sewing machine and some thread spools with old lace on it, a hat, just some things to pretty it up. Back behind the sewing machine is jars of buttons, some old thread there. So this here is one of my sewing areas. I have had this old 1950s sewing machine for a while, and I really like how pretty it is. They made sewing machines so pretty long time ago. They don't really now. So, and here I have a little shelf of pretty things. Some button cards that I made and old vintage collars and seam binding. This is, these were from Sonia. I forget, I think it was Pixie Papers, Pixie something that made these, or that sold these digitals. Some old seam binding. And then I say little board for mementos. Okay, that pile of fabric there is for making snippet rolls, and it's very handy. I've been making those lately. Soon to be on Etsy. The only thing I have on Etsy at the moment are journal kit bundles, physical item. They're on sale now till the end of October. So if you're seeing this and want one, head over there. My Etsy shop is listed on my channel or below in the description box. So on this side is where I film. I make journals, work on dolls, or any other project that is crafty, artsy crafty. And I also have it's just a brother sewing machine, but I keep it here. And here's the plug handy. So when I need to sew some journal cards or something like that, I just put that up on the desk. And that's where I sew mostly. The other sewing machine, I'll put black thread on and sew on it, so I don't have to change the thread. I don't really like, I don't do that easily, like threading the needle. Anything that interrupts what I'm doing is not fun. Okay, so of course I have my computer right here handy as well, and my printer. And I did have this in a carousel, all this stuff in a carousel, but it took a lot of space up, so I put everything in here. I like the carousel, but it was a little bit too, this one I could move. If I need to use copy something on this printer, I can move it easily. I have to organize this better and put more things in there. And boxes of various things like lace. I don't think anything is in this one. Actually, these two are empty, I think. No, I guess I was wrong about the second one. My daughter painted this, which I may have said previously. It can hold thread and other things. So I will fill that with other things. Probably not thread. And in here, these are just some appliques and things. Little flowers and packages and things like that. Now see, that's what I have to do from time to time, is look at what is in boxes, because I tend to forget I have things. There's more lace and doilies in that suitcase here. There's photographs, that big coloring book I got free recently. And there's wallpaper behind that. Okay, this is the other card that kind of stays out in the way. I have a candle going. I'll have to tell you a little story about candles. I had one like that in the living room because a friend was coming over, and you know how you want your house to smell nice? And she was bringing a carton of things to I was like the middleman to give that to her from my daughter, or she wasn't bringing it, she was coming to pick it up. I was going to help her, went out to the car, because there were a couple of loads and I wanted to carry a box or something. So we did that, and she was by the house, and I came back around from this is all taking place in front of our house, right by our house. So I came, kind of took a little shortcut around the area where I was supposed to be, and I tripped on something that I think it was a hose that was buried underneath the ground. All of a sudden, I went flying and screaming so loud that, well, the neighbors, I think, heard me, but they didn't probably know what to do. But we'll tell you the rest in a minute. So here is the overview, the cabinet that I showed you earlier, how I changed that around. It looks more cohesive and neater and nicer and prettier in there now. I'll show you with it open. I arranged the books. These are all vintage, old books. Some of them are older than others, but I arranged them by color as well as size. And I left those up there. More buttons in there. These are mostly, well, I think they're all like little cookbooks and booklets. They're all vintage as well. This here is my flower press. It's a very small flower press, but this is the place that I've kept it. So if I move it, I might not be able to find it. Down here are patterns, doll clothes and dolls patterns, doll patterns. Some slides are in that case from my dad. And those are all my rusted items for my future journals. So very happy with how that looks. And I don't have to wonder anymore, like, when am I going to organize that? It's done. I have extra fabric up there. And in that basket is some vintage, very old lace. Got to figure out how to use that best. This here is like a wicker hanger, which is really sweet. I like it the way it is natural. I have to restrain myself from painting it white, I guess, because I think I like it like that. It's contrasting. Some old baby gowns. Look how long that is. Christening gown. But it's small for a baby. The same with this one here. I didn't realize how long this video could be with all the things that I'm showing you. So maybe I won't show you the details of everything because I could do that in another video. If anybody's interested in that, let me know. This I keep lace, and most all of them are on cards. And in the top as well is some lace. But like I said, if you want to see more of that, let me know. Oh, okay, so let's finish the candle story, if anybody has stayed this long. All right, so I went flying in the air towards my house. I was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 feet from the house. And I thought my arm went right through the window. It felt like I just smashed right through the window. And I was still screaming when my son heard it from in the house and came running. And Of course, Laurel, my friend, was horrified. As a little reenactment, well, I'm not going to reenact it, but to show you what happened. Right here was a tote full of dishes that Laurel was going to pick up, and Laurel was standing right here. And I was coming from her car that was parked over here. And I was going here, and so the opening was blocked, so I thought, well, I'll just go around this pole here. I don't think the hose was here at the time. There's just a pole, well, obviously. And the vegetation wasn't there, so I went around it and I went flying, and that's the window I thought I put my hand through, but I actually had my hand outstretched and hit the ground, and that's when I broke my arm. And she's a registered nurse, so it was handy to have her there. But I ended up breaking my arm completely in half, my humerus bone. Some of you probably know that already because I've probably mentioned in at least 1 or 2 videos, I don't know. But we all rushed off to well, first the emergency people came and fixed me up a little bit so I could go with Laurel. Laurel drove me to the hospital. And after being at the hospital for hours, I came home and the candle was still going. And I was, because everybody left, and of course I was the one that lit the candle and should have been the one to blow it out, but I was outside in pain and didn't even come in the house. I just left from there, and thankfully it was high enough. The dogs couldn't get it, or, we don't have a cat or anything. It was fine, but that's my candle story, and I'm sticking to it. I know it wasn't that exciting, but I thought it was something to kind of take the boredom out of looking at all of my things here. Or hearing me talk about them, I should say. And in there I have various things like, well, these are like old vintage seam bindings, rick-rack on the top here, and some of my paint. So, okay, so I will do another video of the small, the drawers and things, and tell you a little bit more of what's in everything if you want that. If anybody is interested. I have a couple hundred people that are pretty good about watching my videos. And I'm not sure what happens after that. They just don't, nobody looks at them after the first week or 2. I think YouTube hides them or something. I don't know, but it's okay. It's okay because I love all of you 200 people. I appreciate all of you very, very much, and I thank you for watching this video till the end, and for watching any video that I make. And I will be doing some upcoming videos of kind of decor and some doll videos, some vintage antique doll videos of my own collection and repairing them. So if you're interested in that, anyway, I hope you will watch those as well. And thank you so much for being here. Until next time, bye-bye.